this is Coach Mike. It's my first video that I'm going to put out. Depending on what kind of
That's me, 1 month ago. All right, so about a month ago I put out a video talking about the Power Pocket. If you want to know more about that video, go back and watch that video. I talk about my background as far as being a coach and trying to integrate some of that stuff. Disclaimer from the very beginning, I am pretty new to disc golf. The stuff that I'm learning on the fly, and I'm trying to share with people that are in the same level that I am, or people who are just coming into the sport. I'm about an 850 rated player right now. I've worked my butt off this winter. I see myself hitting 900 this summer. We'll see if that happens or not. Already registered for 4 tournaments. Excited. We've got Livingston, Billings, Helena, and then back to Billings for Diamond X. We're going to, real quick, I want to run through some of what I've learned and what I've done with these drills. Some of them I figured out through time and through playing with them, that they're good for one thing, but they mess up something else. And I want to share that with this update video. So, let's start off with the bar drill. Bar drill. We talked about pulling into the shoulder, rotating the hips, and then snapping the disc out front. That does 2 things. 1, it gets you pulling into the power pocket. 2, it gets your hips rotating. The thing that I lost focus on that I absolutely have figured out is 99% of your power is going to come from what happens after you get the disc into the power pocket. This getting to here is important, but it's not near as important as the hips, the rotation, the big muscle groups, and everything else that's releasing that disc out. I've been trying to strengthen my arm and doing all this other stuff as I started, and the more I got into it, the more I realized that it's actually the hips, the core, the stomach, all of those muscles that are what is getting everything rotating and spinning, and then all the arm is doing is releasing. There is some pull to here, and then from there it's about the fling and the whip way more than it is about arm strength from here to here. I had the same problem for a long time playing softball, trying to power the ball around instead of letting the bat do the work. In this scenario, what we want to do is let the disc or let the arm do the work without forcing it to do the work. Another drill that we worked on that I have another video on is the power band drill. Okay, basically all I've done is taken and attached a disc, a really nice disc. I didn't like it because I kept losing it. Really hard to find this in our terrain that we have here. So I've got this attached to a power band, and when I first started out, what we were talking about doing was pulling to here, and I was working on that pull. And what I started to realize is more than the strength getting to here, it's about the angle of the disc getting to here. When I was trying to throw with power, I was bending down too much, and I was releasing that disc on a hyzer angle every single time, and I was getting no distance, 250, 260. This drill, what it did do is get me pulling that disc in and got me used to pulling that disc in at more of an anhyzer angle or flat. So for me, this worked really well for this. What I'm doing now with the power band is I've scooted a step further back. I'm basically starting center of the chest. I'm rotating and snapping out. Just rotating and snapping out. Getting used to that rotation with the hips, and then just letting that disc come out. And that's giving me just a little bit more whip out that way. So, we've got the power band, we've got that, we got everything else. The biggest key that I have figured out to this point is get to the power pocket, that's important. But 99% of what I'm figuring out is it's after that. It's the hip rotation, and it's the snapping that disc out with lots of spin. It's velocity combined with spin. One of the questions that I had early on was when a disc is showing its disc speed, if you're throwing an 11-speed disc or a 9-speed disc or a 7-speed disc, is that speed velocity or is that speed of spin? And I think what I'm figuring out is it's a combination of both. If you take a disc and you just throw it this way with no spin on it, it's going to flutter out and die. If you just spin a disc with no velocity, it's just going to drop. So you've got to combine that velocity with that spin to get the release that you're looking for and trying to increase that distance. Now, 99% of it is going to come from your hips, your core, the main part of your body and your legs. Okay, we can try and figure out all these different things to increase power in the shoulder and everything else, but I'm figuring out that it's not about that. And I could be completely off my rocker. Again, I implore you, if you're a 950 rated player, if you're a 900 rated player, if you're an 800 rated player that knows more than I do, please put a comment down below. Let me know that I'm doing this wrong, and I will put out another video with the corrections in it. Because what I want to do is use this platform that I'm starting to develop to share with as many disc golfers as we possibly can the correct way to throw a disc, and try and get as many people that want to improve their power or want to improve their game to have the tools at hand to do it. I know when I first started playing, I was Googling videos, I was watching everything I possibly could. I'm sure that I watched some guys that were doing it wrong, and I was doing it wrong because they were doing it wrong, but hopefully I'm on the right track and I'm not teaching people wrong. If I am teaching people wrong, let me know, and I will turn it around and I will figure out how to teach people right, because that's what I'm all about, is trying to teach people so that they'll love the game, they'll stick with the game. All that Coach Mike, that brand, has ever stood for is getting outside, recreating, being active, staying healthy. You know, my number one goal in life is, I'm 15 years from retirement. When I retire, I want so bad to still be able to do the things that I love. I want to be healthy enough to go hiking, to play disc golf, to go fly fishing, to do the things I want to do. And unless I stay active, that's not going to happen. So, let's get back on topic here. The main point of the whole thing was, when you're pulling, pull into the power pocket. Get those hips rotating. Get that core spinning. Get everything from the very center of your body. The other major thing is this hand. Make sure that you're not going under it. Make sure that it's driving towards your other pocket. If you're right-handed, throwing with your right hand, that hand as you're coming through should come down and go towards your right pocket. That will help with that torque and that spin. That was one of my biggest flaws. That hand was just kind of flying out everywhere. From other videos that I've posted, I've gotten comments from people saying, dude, get that hand in, you'll help. Guaranteed, it helps. It absolutely helps. The power band drill. As I was pulling in here, one of the things that I noticed is, as I'm pulling into the power pocket, if I look down, I can see my hand in front of the disc. Okay? So as I'm coming in, that hand is coming in, which is helping with the rotation, and then from there, it can explode out and around. It doesn't have to stay in the entire time, but it definitely has to be in when you're going through your rotation. Guaranteed it'll add speed. So, what I've learned is disc angle. It's more about disc angle than anything, okay? When you go out to the field and you're throwing practice, and again, this is for the noobs like me. I'm not telling a 950 rated player how to practice, okay? I'm not even telling an 800 rated player how to practice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what's working for me. I take my entire bag, and right now I've got like 25 discs in there, and I throw them at 50 or 60%. But I really focus on making sure that I'm releasing on a flat angle to a little bit of an Anheuser angle. Really focusing on not bending down. Making myself stand up straight, releasing that disc on that angle, and releasing it flat. For some reason in my mind, if you're going to throw a disc far, you got to get it up in the air. As soon as you get that nose up at all, the wind comes under here, scrubs the speed. Or it just goes up, turns, and comes back down. What we want to do is flex that disc out. The only way to flex it out is on the proper angle. So, bottom line is, focus on your angles, okay? I can't express that enough. It's more about the angles and that whip motion from here to here than it is about the power that you're developing with your shoulder. Let your hips do the work, let the disc do the work. This is Coach Mike. Remember, recreation is cheaper than therapy. Thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button.